wish to extend my gratitude to the University of South Africa, the biggest university in our continent, for the invite, particularly to talk about Africa's financial and economic prospects. This, as you would know, is a fascinating topic and very exciting in today's world. Moreover, it has great significance for South Africa, a strong and growing Africa which can only be positive for South Africa, both in terms of economic growth and in terms of political security.
In 2007 and 2008, the global community and many societies in Africa experienced a series of major economic and financial challenges, which have been referred to by various commentators as the global economic and financial meltdown, downturn, recession, and/or crisis. I want to emphasize that we in South Africa and many other African countries on the continent have experienced some of the most extreme consequences brought about by the financial and economic crises. The negative impacts of the crises have included, but not limited to, the losses of jobs in the textiles and garment industries, the decline in trade in Africa, the decline in remittances, and sometimes the collapse of productive economic activity.
At the time that our people are giving us a message that we are losing faith in both political and business leadership, as confirmed by events 10 days at Impala Platinum in Rustenburg, and then Marikana, where there was tragic, sad and regrettable loss of life. But also at a time that as a people with great natural endowments, we need to have a conversation about the type of strategic messages that we are saying to our children and what type of legacy we're going to leave them. So this privilege emanates from the fact that Ntate Makhanya has given expression to this African university because this Africanness flows in the blood of this institution. You don't just talk about it, you do it. Whilst global economic growth has been sluggish in recent years, energy consumption is still growing by about 2.5% per annum, and energy demand could well double in the first half of this century, driven largely by a rising population and economic growth in non-OECD countries. Developing a secure energy supply for the future is therefore a challenge that will define our generation.
So even during the financial crisis, ironically, Africa's growth was resilient. At the London summit of the G20, a concern was expressed that poorest countries, many of which were in Africa, will be most severely hit by the global financial crisis. This is partly due to the effective measures taken by the G20, but also for unrelated reasons. It turned out that Africa was one of the most resilient regions during the depth of the crisis. Africa's current growth rate is about 4.8%. This includes South Africa, which is the largest economy in Africa, and was more severely hit by the financial crisis than many other African countries. Do we know why Africa's growth is strong? Do we know how long it will continue? Do we also know what we need to do to ensure that it does continue in a sustainable way? In conclusion, we need to answer these fundamental questions. How do we lay the foundations for Africa's long-term financial and economic health? As a continent, we need to strengthen leadership in Africa, from political leaders to senior officials in all spheres of government, and we do this across Africa. We can truly make this African continent a success. I thank you.